Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from Inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again today for this card making video, which is our Stamp Around UK video hop. So there's going to be loads of links in the description. We're all Stampin' Up demonstrators, all using a common theme to create our projects with you today. So it'd be really great if you could hop through, give some likes, subscribes, comments, shares, all that jazz, which helps everybody grow their YouTube channels. Our theme that we're using today is Milestone Birthday. Okay, so for me, if you're having a milestone birthday, you want something really nice and special to give to somebody, and I've created this card today. This is obviously a square card. This is a card base that I've bought rather than made myself, but of course you can, but you would have to make your own envelopes. But I just got some square cards and envelopes. Okay, we've got some gold in there, we've got lovely texture with all the blooms. So yeah, I thought this was really pretty, and it's not super dimensional, so you could post it as well. Certainly could in the UK anyway. Okay, so what have we used? Lots. Okay, so decadent cards means lots of products. So our focal is the blooms, of course. So I keep going back to gallery blooms, and it was a set that didn't really appeal to me straight off the bat, but I've used it tons. So we've got this one, which nicely fits in the corners to make the frame, and of course we've got the coordinated dies. I love the frames that come in this as well, very useful. My lovely favourite Simply Said for the sentiment. The numbers come from the alphabet a la mode set, so you've got a whole alphabet plus numbers. Okay, so this is the only die set that has numbers in it at the moment in the catalogue. And then the sort of circles in the middle are a combination of the Spotlight on Nature. That was it. I always want to call them Encircled in Nature. I think that was another set that we had. Spotlight on Nature. So layered those up, and then stitched circle from the stylish shapes. I've also used a stylish shape around the sentiment as well. The background, so there's polka dots in the background. Okay, is from a Christmas paper. This is from Modern Christmas. Okay, so there's a couple of designs in here that really aren't very Christmassy. So we've got this one with the circles. We've got one with squiggles on it. There, squiggles. We've got the dots. We've got this one. It's not particularly Christmassy. And then we've got the gold stripes as well. I was tempted to use that one. And we've got stars at the back. Stars. So I was tempted to use this one as well. So there are some non-Christmas designs in that paper pack that you could use. And with it being black, white, gold, it goes with all sorts of things. And you can apply ink to it, which is what I did. So in the background, I just used some petal pink just to sort of bring back that white. The flowers are peach pie with granny apple green. And then obviously you've got the gold there. Okay, right, so shall we get making then? I've done quite a bit of this ahead of time, because otherwise we'd be here quite a long time. There's lots of die cutting to do. Okay, so I have already got my card base, and I've already cut my square of paper, and I've actually gone over the background in Fresh Freesia. Okay, so I've just used a blending brush, and it's not even, you can see it's all splotchy. It doesn't matter because it's going to be covered up for the best part. We just want to lift, I just wanted to lift that white, and instead of gold we're going to go with silver because it just goes better with the purpley tones. So I would die cut my silver, a little black and a little bit of white. And so that's ready to go. Okay, we are going to have to die cut some numbers though. I've got a little strip ready for the sentiments. And the other thing I've already done is stamped all the flowers. Okay, so I want 8 sets of these, 4 for each corner and then 1 on each side. Okay, and I actually heat embossed them as well, so they've got a bit of sheen to them. There you go, you can see it catching. Okay, and rather than making, I'm just going to use some scrap paper, rather than using a marker or something to colour these in, I'm just going to use my blending brushes. So I'm going to use the small ones, and rather than having to worry about getting into all that detail and having to spend quite a lot of time colouring these individual elements, you can actually do it quite quickly with a blending brush. Okay, so just sort of a time-saving sort of trick here. It gives you that sort of rustic look. The smaller brush head means that you can control it somewhat. Okay, if you've got other smaller blending brushes, all the better. These do just fine, and for some of them we'll be cutting off this little sort of pointy leaf as well, so if some of those don't catch so well, then that doesn't matter either. So once you've gone around those, that's still Granny Apple Green. I'm then going to go over the flower centres with Highland Heather. Okay, and I'm just going to go into the middle there. Not going to worry about going all the way to the edge. I just want to add that colour to the centre. Okay, so totally different look, and of course you can make this to suit the recipient if you know what their favourite colour is. Then obviously you could use those. I do want to be a little bit careful with the green, because it can blend with other colours to make brown. Okay, but that's far quicker than trying to individually colour everything. And then just to bring back I've buried my I've buried my cloth. 1 minute. I just want to use a little cloth just to rub away any excess ink from there. Okay, so there you are, really quick coloured flowers with that sort of faded watercolory washy kind of look to them, and it kind of looks a bit messy like that, but once they die cut, it's going to look absolutely fine. So we have the coordinating dies in the set, which obviously we need to just position over the top. Okay, get that secured, and we need to run that through. I'm going to have to do that 8 times, so I'm going to go through, I'm going to nip away, come back with them all die cut for you. Okay, so those are all die cut, and what we'll just need to do is just a little bit of surgery on 4 of them. Okay, so this sort of, I don't know, I'll call it the shark fin, but this little leaf here just needs to be snipped off, and it just makes it makes them fit better on the side. So these ones are going to go in the corners because you've got this lovely sort of cornered sort of shape, whereas these ones are going on the sides, so I want them to be just a little bit straight, for want of a better word. Okay, so let's put those away to get rid of those little bits. and then all of these are going to need dimensionals on the back. So I'm just going to prep them all ready to go, and I'm just going to pop 2 kind of in the middle behind where the flowers are on those images. They're not going to overlap immensely. They're going to, you know, the leaves will a little. So if you keep the dimensionals sort of central, they shouldn't interfere with anything else that you've got going on your card. So let's pop those to one side just for a sec. So our other pieces then, let's just pop that to one side for a second. We need our numbers. Okay, so we're going to take those from that set, and because this silver circle will ultimately be covered up, we can actually die cut those from the centre of that circle. So we'll just run that through. Oh, my 5 is stuck to my board, cutting that. And we'll just peel that away. So no one's ever going to know that that was there, because we're going to layer all of that up. So no one's ever going to know. And, you know, just saves a bit of cardstock for yourself. Okay, so there's our silver little letters. Okay, so we can start to build some of this stuff up now. Okay, so our 50 is going to have to go in the centre here, but I want it sort of towards the top of that circle so I can put the banner across the middle. So we'll just use a touch of multi-purpose glue for this. You only want a little teeny tiny piece, bit of just little dabs of the glue, and then just use the nib just to sort of spread it out so it's nice and thin, and then that will dry real quick as well. So just sort of trying to eyeball where the centre line will be and just putting that to the left, but in the towards the top of that circle. And then we'll do the same with our 0. Just lightly dab some glue on there, spreading that out. And again, you want to pop this down. Let's get that straight so I can see it. And say if you put it on thin, it will dry really quickly. Okay, so there's our numbers. You don't want to get any glue on the front of that though. It's gonna, it'll make your foil cardstock look dull, but if you're carefully, you can carefully remove it with an adhesive eraser. Okay, so there's our number. So I'm going to layer up the rest of that now. Put plenty of adhesive on though, because we don't want this one falling apart. We've got this little black circle. Now the main reason for putting this in is because I felt like there was too much silver showing, or too much metallic showing on the gold one. And that was the only die I had, or that would sort of fill the space a little bit. And just make that, because there's quite a lot of silver to show. And just again, just looking around that kind of that line where those sort of petally things finish, trying to get that central. Okay, and this will also need to be popped up onto some dimensionals. So we'll put usually like to put 3 on a circle, but we'll put the extra ones on. So that's ready to go as well. Cool. Okay. And then we've got this scrap, which we are going to use with our banner from Stylish Shapes. We're going to have to double die cut it so that we get a nice image, and we're going to heat emboss this to match the rest of the card with the silver detail. So it's going to pop some anti-static powder across that. We will need our Versamark ink. Oh, you should see the state of this desk. Can you see the state of this desk? Oh, no, you can't. Oh my goodness, there's stuff everywhere. Right. Lots of light tapping on your Versamark. You kind of only have one go to get this right, so lots and lots and lots and lots of light tapping to make sure that's coated. And I'm going to come in from the end a little because I actually want this to be longer. I want the banner to cut longer than it's intended to. Get that really well. Hold that down so that it transfers. And we'll be using the silver powder, of course, to match the project. So I want to dump it, cover it once, cover it again, and just make sure that all of that sticky ink is covered. Our tidy tray allows us to pull that away and tidy up, and then we'll need to heat set this. So we've got our reversible tweezers in with the embossing additions set. You get the tray, a little brush, and the anti-static bag all together in the kit. And then you need to heat set that with your heat tool. So at the moment that's all not very shiny at all. It's very matte. Okay, so we're going to heat set that with the heat tool. So I'm going to pop that on high heat. It's going to be noisy for a bit, but I'm going to leave the video running. Hopefully you'll be able to see it turn nice and shiny as we go. Okay. There we go, it doesn't take long, and now it's shiny. Okay, right, put these bits away. Oops. And we will need to die cut this. So we've got this little banner out of Stylish Shapes, okay, and I'm going to shuffle that across as far as it will go towards the left there. Okay, and you can see that the other end would cut off. In fact, I'm going to grab, oh whoops, there wasn't enough surface for that to stick on. Should we try that again? That's not very straight either, is it? Try and get over the top of that so I can actually see it, but not get my head in the way of what you can see. So I'm just going to try and take that into place now. Okay, but you can see that cut would cut off the Y. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to roll it through the die cut machine, but I'm going to roll it all the way through, but this bit isn't going to disappear. I'm going to leave this uncut. Okay, right, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to try and get this banner the length that we want it to be. So I'm just going to roll this through, but I'm going to stop before that banner disappears under the roller. So if I peel that away carefully now, okay, let's die cut this end, but that end is still attached. Okay, you can take that off. So now I'm going to slide this across and reposition it. The stitching will lock back in to where it cut before. I'll tape it into place, and we're going to come the other way. We're going to roll this way and finish that off. Not all the way, just enough. Okay, and now we'll have the banner cut at both ends, no interruption to the stitching, but it's the length that we want it to be. Okay, so put that away now. Okay, right, I think we're in a position where we can start building our card now. I think we've got everything, so we'll just use some Stampin' Seal to adhere our pattern paper. Just putting a couple of lines of tape down. Just want it to be nice and secure. And as always, I like to just open out the open out the card, and to make sure it's where we need it to be. These card blanks aren't actually dead square, so I just wanted to make sure that it was the right way around. So lining that up, top, bottom, making sure the edge is straight. The rest should take care of itself. Beautiful. There we go. That, and then we need to get all the backings off our flowers. So 3 and 4, so that's the corner ones, but we're going to pop these ones on first. So let's get these off. Three, 4. So these are going to be north, south, east and west, and we now got that nice flat edge rather than that sort of pointy edge. Okay, so we're going to use that to our advantage to get those straight-ish. Okay, die balling where that is, like so. Okay, so if we'd have used these ones with the, see, you can't get close enough with that leaf in place. Okay, so that leaf now is just going to go into the corner and just pop it in. Don't have to think too hard about it, just position it and press. So I had some colouring shortcuts, which I think has really made this card come together far quicker than it would have done if you had to hand colour all of those things. So that looks really pretty, right? And we've got that lovely purple halo from the Fresh Freesia blending around the edges. We already mounted everything for our central piece, all our layered circles here. So again, the dimensionals can come off there. Oops. And we'll get that in the middle. So just looking to make that look like it's even. Okay, and then lastly we'll just add this and we're just going to use some seal across there. To add this in. And again, just looking for that banner to sit centrally underneath the numbers there. That looks cool. There we go. So there we go, all done. Could add some bling on there, so you could like sprinkle all sorts of things all over that if you wanted to, just to sort of finish blinging it off. But you've got the shine from the embossing, the shine from the silver, texture and layering, just makes it just look really, really special. Okay, so purples with silver, oranges with gold, but both look fantastic. I know I'd like to receive those for my special birthday. Okay, so that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed the cards, and it's given you some ideas on how to use some of the products in a different way, layering things up, adding your texture, that kind of thing, colouring DSP. Okay, so yes, this is a video hop. Lots more in the description. Please do click the links and see what everyone else has made. I can't wait to see what they've made. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.